Derek and
I'm
Will.
gonna pack a little bit and
Derek
come
and
back.
Will,
I'll help you.
Please.
Walks away. They get the warning.
So Kaela just spilled her whole game to me, which is perfect. She has a criminology and psychology degree.
Okay.
I could tell from the shit she was saying earlier. I'll tell you about it after. Criminology and psychology degree. She says that she's been playing Derek this entire time. She says that getting Jesse out was her idea because he was closer to Derek. She said that she told Erica that V said Erica would never have the guts to put me on the block or whatever, so she takes credit for V's back door. It's her bullshit. She said that she had the relationship with Allie and Liv that even you didn't know about. So whenever you were going, like, and telling Kaela, hey, Allie and Liv said this about you, or telling Allie and Liv and Kaela said that they were already doing that and that they never needed you at all, and that she felt like you, how did you phrase it? Basically that you were like the second version of her, basically saying like you didn't have any influence, but you were like playing and then nobody ever believed you. And I was like, okay, well, obviously not, considering how Allie acted, but I didn't say that. I was like, she says that she's told Derek what to do this entire time, this entire game. He's like reported to her for directions, basically. And that anytime he had better relationships with someone, she would evict them because they had a better relationship with Derek. And then she evicted Ryan because Ryan saw her for exactly the player that she was, so he had to go. She says that Canada did her a favor by saving Ryan because then she was able to get rid of Erica. She also says that part of like her whole intention of this house was to ruin Johnny's game. So whenever she had her HOH week, she wanted to isolate us all away from Johnny and take Johnny out after a while. What else? Something else. Anyways, okay, I'll get back to that because maybe I'll think of more stuff. But she gave like so much stuff and like specific instances that I was like, okay, but that's how you see it. Anyway, so I asked her if Derek wins the veto at Final Four, do you think that he'll take you to Final Three? And she goes, yes. Like she really thinks that he would take her. So I went to Derek and I said, okay. So like we talked about like his game and I was like, can you explain to me how Kaela hasn't been playing you like a fiddle this whole game because that's how she's been saying to you. And he went through and said like good cop, bad cop. He had actually a really good like angle on how his game was compared to hers. She said his personal relationships were always better. He didn't have to put his foot in his mouth as often as she did. Like all these things that are true. He did a good job hiding behind her. And he said that coming into this game he knew he wanted to hide behind somebody and he wanted to get close to somebody who knew the game. Like so he didn't have to. And he learned about studying from Kaela. Like he gives Kaela the proper credit. But then I told him what she said. Kaela said you would take her to Final Three for sure. And I said, well, in a jury, I'm the last like full-time jury member basically because when we're on the panel is when the Final Four person was going to come in soon. But yeah, I'm listening. So when we're on the panel is when the Final Four person comes in. I said the only way the jury is not going to believe that Kaela played you this entire time is if Kaela walks in that Final Four spot because she thinks and believes in her heart that you are taking her. But I know that you've been playing her for a fool this entire time and you've done a great job. But if you don't cut her this week, I think that her story is going to win her the $100,000 instead of yours. So he's like, oh, it's important to consider. So I said, her chance to cut you is this week, and she didn't do it because you've got a hold on that girl, and she's blind to everything, or she's not blind to anything in this game except for you. So if you want to win $100K and give the jury something to talk about, you better send her home in 4th place. Yeah, what he said? He was very, very like, yeah, I definitely like, that makes sense. Very like, did you tell him that she thinks she's been playing it this entire time? Yes. And he goes, well, I don't know, like, I feel like she's made like all the bad enemies. She's made this and that. And I said, you're right. It's not necessarily about who's your enemy though. Because in the end, if she ends up sitting there, well, yeah. I told Will a bunch of this stuff, but not as thoroughly. So he's gonna spell it all. Fuck. Don't care. Not necessarily about that, just about, we talked about, because Will said, do you think that Derek would cut Kaela in Final Four? And I said, yeah.
Fucking hope so.
Yeah.
That's funny because Kaela and I actually have played a similar game.
Yeah.
I don't know. She can't make it there. She can't.
I think Derek's gonna cut her.
Fucking hope so.
Oh my god, I would love it.
Oh my god, I fucking hope
But
so.
she thinks that she's run this house.
I knew she had a crim degree of some sort when she was like, we were sitting on the bed a couple of days ago, and like the words that she was using are the same words that I like know from my degree, like recidivism rates, like talking about restorative justice, talking about like the criminal justice system, like the words that she was using. I was like, she's like, oh, I just read a lot on it. I'm like, no, you don't.
In your textbooks at school.
Yeah, like fuck.
So all those things all together, but don't let her get away with it. And if it comes down to it, call her up in front of everybody. Tell her about her degree. Tell her about this and that. because she was like, oh, I'm worried you're going to spill that stuff. And I said, Kaela would send it for me.
I think I might do it if it comes down to the point where like Derek has the veto and he wants to keep her.
I don't think he would keep her though.
But I would just tell him all that stuff. I think I'd be like, do you really want to be keeping her? Because she's
he might know about that. I didn't ask him.
He might, but he might not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Okay, what's your advice for me?
Make sure that they don't take each other. Make sure that they stay. Separate them, basically. Because the more emotional either of them are going to get, the more that they're going to say about the other person. And if they spill a lot of their details before getting to final two, or there's any problems with that or anything like that, you can exploit those issues. Like I said, when you get to final two, can you like try to repeat back kind of like the points that we said last night?
Last night?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I do want everyone to feel like they had a hand in me making it to final two, but they were the reason I made it to final
Very
two.
good.
Find specific examples of when that happened.
Yeah. And when the expiry date was.
Yeah.
Because Kaela's speaking a lot about that, but hers is a little bit more self-centered, whereas yours can be more of a thank you, accept.
What's hers like? I need to know.
I came up with this. I came up with that. This was my idea. People thought that I didn't do this, but I did actually do this.
Well, she thinks that, but it's like, for example, the Veronica thing, that was like me talking about it. That was Allie and Liv talking about it. That was her talking about it. That was a bunch of people
But
talking
she thinks
about
that she's the only reason.
Yeah, she's not.
But she's not going to appeal to that jury that way with that kind of philosophy, and you are. If Kaela stays, take Kaela.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I think she would win against me.
You don't think? You think? I
I
don't
think she would. She has a lot of fucking points.
know. What if? Oh, okay. I guess because if the only way
She
that
has
Derek
a lot of points. Will's not going to be able to
You're
articulate
right.
himself.
You're right. So go with Derek. Yeah, because if Kaela stays, that means Derek's not there. So she would have that point. Yeah. So either way, you have to go with Derek.
With Derek, what do you mean?
Well, like if you one of the showman's members.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I probably... Yeah, like, if I end up winning the final three, HOH, and I have Kaela and Derek, who do I go for?
Derek.
You really?
It's up to you. But
Fuck.
I haven't played your game. Just be ready. Think about it for the next few days. Be ready for
I
any
want your
scenario.
opinion on it, though. I'm not saying I'm going to do exactly that, but I want your opinion.
Okay, well, just to make it simple, look at the jury votes. You have me and Will.
Yeah.
You have Ryan.
Maybe.
You will. Ryan will vote for you.
Fine.
Yeah. There's Allie, Liv, Johnny,
I don't know about Allie Liv, maybe Johnny.
and whoever you said no. So think about how you can get them to vote for you.
Oh, fuck, I really don't know what my better call is, because
Just think about the
Kaela
jury.
and I have played a very similar game.
But has she made more enemies?
Probably not, because I'm the one that sent them packing.
No. She stayed instead of them.
What was she saying about me again?
Basically that you thought you...
We're making moves, but I wasn't.
No, like that you thought you had you thought you were spreading the information when the reality was they were already telling each other before you could tell.
Yeah. Which is kind of true, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Everyone's played a good game in this house.
Yeah. I should have been more secretive about studying, but I don't really know how to do that. I just don't know how to be anything else but this.